You hear a lot of strange stories when you know the right people. Stories that don't make the news. Stories that never make it past quiet conversations between those who were there. First responders tend to have the best ones. So do truckers. Something about the long hours, the isolation, the things they see when no one else is around. Leo, a friend of mine, used to work in law enforcement. We meet up often, and every now and then he'll remember something that he thinks I'd be interested in. Last time we talked, he told me about a conversation he had with a search and rescue diver. A guy with years of experience, someone who had seen more than most. People who live in this area know the lake's reputation well, but for those unfamiliar, a little background might be necessary. The lake is peaceful to look at, but it can be a dangerous place. In the winter, even when the ice freezes solid, there are always thin spots, places where the water never fully stills underneath. The locals know where to avoid, and for years, the worst spots have been marked with Christmas trees to warn people away. But sometimes someone still falls through. Summer has its own dangers. The water isn't the cleanest, so there aren't many swimmers, but boating and fishing are common. And when alcohol gets involved, even strong swimmers can get into trouble. In the worst cases, search and rescue divers are called in. The problem is the bottom is pure silt, fine, powdery, disturbed by even the smallest movement. Drop something in, and it's gone. Send a diver down, and within moments, visibility drops to near zero. And that's why most recoveries aren't done by divers. They're done by the dam. But even given the difficult conditions, the divers do their best when called. One such call came in during the height of summer, one that would leave more questions than answers. A call came in about a missing boater. His boat had been found anchored offshore just sitting there, but he was nowhere to be found. No obvious signs of struggle, no indication of what happened, just an empty boat. The area where he disappeared was known for being one of the worst spots for silt. Not a great place to fish either. The diver thought it was a strange place to stop. But they decided to send him in anyway. Maybe, just maybe they could get lucky. The diver suited up and dropped into the water. Even before he hit the bottom, the visibility was almost nothing, just shifting shadows and the faint glow of his flashlight cutting through the murk. He searched carefully, methodically, but there was nothing. No movement, no sign of the missing boater. Minutes passed. Then more. He was about to give up when something caught his eye. A pale reflection. Just a faint, ghostly glow where there shouldn't have been one. He moved closer, and as the silt settled slightly, he saw it. A bone. Then another, and another. A pile. Dozens of them. Hundreds of them. The diver had been in this lake countless times over the years, and he had never seen anything like it. Some of the bones looked human. Others were unmistakably animal. But the sheer number of them was overwhelming. It didn't make sense. His mind raced. How could this many end up in one place? Accidents? A natural collection point? Then he remembered something. Something his grandfather used to say. Never go to the lake after dark. There's something in there. Something big. Something old. The diver had always thought it was just a story. A cautionary tale to keep kids from wandering too close to the shore at night. But looking at that pile of bones deep in the lake's silt, he wasn't so sure anymore. He thought he felt a shift in the water, a stirring, deep below. That was enough. He turned back, leaving whatever was down there undisturbed. I hadn't thought about this story in years, Leo told me. But it suddenly came back to me the other day. Something about it stuck with me. Anyway, I figured you'd like it. He shook his head. Probably nothing, right? I just nodded, but I wasn't so sure. There are some stories that don't need answers. Some things are best left alone. But I can't help but wonder, what else is down there?